Hello everyone, it's me Andrea. Today I will show you what I call a watercolor painting. I stuck this watercolor paper already down, very heavy one, to a board and stuck it down with this pink tape. That's for very sensitive stuff, so it doesn't tear the paper when you remove it. And I mask 3 circles off with this rubber cement. I drew the circles down lightly with a pencil, and now I wet the whole paper with a bottle water spray bottle, dab it a little bit. So what I do is I put a bit of color down with the Ecoline watercolors, but afterwards you will see I changed my mind. I didn't want to have it colorful, and at the end it will be a monochrome. So I wet around the circles with a really wet brush again and put this blister down. Blister is it's a very organic type of paint. It's like this watercolor crystals a bit, but it's not reacting in the same way. As you can see, when you put the water over it, it's not spreading out like this watercolor crystals or pigments. But I really like the effect and the dirtiness to it. Can you say that? Yeah, a bit. So it looks a bit like stained, when you have stains from glass or bottles left on a table. Really like that. So there is some loose stuff on top when after it dried, and I go over it with a brush to clean it off, to get rid of this little crumbs. And then I start rubbing the masking stuff, the rubber cement off. And this, you really can't mask it off properly, as you can see here. It seeps a bit through, but it doesn't matter, it will cover up everything afterwards anyway. So yeah, I go around and define the circles again. I lost a bit the lines. So here I use the little rubber cement can at the right size. So, and then you see me doing something very rare. Rarely I do that, not very often. The measuring, but I wanted to have the grid, of course, in the right distance, that the lines are always in the right distance. So you have to measure it. The edges, of course, weren't very clean. I wanted to have a closed edge, so I pulled some of the blister in. When you activate it with water, it's still working, so it's very, very rich. You can activate it again and again and again. So I pull that all into the edge to have a closed edge, nothing white left, no white spaces around that. So I go in with my Signo to define the lines. They were only made by pencil, so it was very light. And then I use my Derwent Ink Tense blocks, and I wanted to shade them, and didn't really work properly because I couldn't. Sometimes I used too much, and then, as you can see, I couldn't really remove what was too much, and so at the end I was frustrated and used circles again, put all these lines on top again and again, and glued it on. And at the same process, I go over it. Now that's a Posca to define the lines better, and then I fill in the whole background with a light brown. It is the Derwent Inkton's block as well. Yeah. Water it down and use it, and then I start to shade it a bit. I will show you at the end when I finished with all of these 3 circles. That's sort of okay. So I was okay with that. Could have been better, but I was okay with that. And I go in again with water to activate the blister again. I wanted to have the circles a bit more loose and stretch them out a bit more. And as you can see here, it doesn't matter how dry that stuff is, you can always activate it again and again. As I said before, absolutely rich, that stuff. So I protected now the circles and spray over the whole page with water to drag in or to pull in, what a way, to pull in this blister color over the whole page. That's what I thought looked much nicer instead of this light greenish blue in the background. It didn't really go with this brown stuff. And yeah, I decided now to use a proper brush, not this tiny one. And I think this brought everything much better together. So of course a lot of empty spaces around the circles, and I use this. It's a stem from Kaisercraft. It is a type of rocks with gaps. Don't know what you call that. What is it called? Let me have a look. It's called rocks. Oh, okay. So, and then I wanted to give it a bit more depth and go in with the same stuff here on the right. You can see I watered down the blister and use it to go into the gaps or over the gaps to give it a bit more depth. And I think that works really good. So, and I think now I'm remove the tape. Now this is very much sped up, so you have to be careful removing even this pink one, not to tear the paper. It's stuck there for a long time, so it can tear, so be carefully. This is a polychrome I use in two different ones, a grey one like you can see here, and afterwards a light brown one to go into. Now I go around the circles first to have a bit more depth. It wasn't dark enough around the circles, and it gives it much more depth. And inside the shade in here I go in with a light brown polychrome and define that a bit more. I will show you soon now a close-up, and that's it. Very quick project. Not when you're making a lot of mistakes though, but basically it's a quick project. So here's the close-up, guys. I hope you like it. I had a lot of fun, and thanks a lot for watching. I hope I will see you with my next project. So have a nice time, guys. You will see some pictures at the end, so stay tuned. Bye-bye.